Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, September 12th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarification points quick. Number one, the price you see here will be moving around, and then the candlestick right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement here on video live. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, AVCT. I've done this one several times before. Stopped doing it because it essentially kind of fell down below a key level. But then this afternoon, all of a sudden, the volume has come pouring back in. The price has reacted very nicely with it. And this is the idea of a watch list, to find unique, to find interesting situations, and not randomly rush out and buy, but to watch and see how the price continues to behave. And if it does then behave in a way that fits your personal strategy and personal risk tolerance, you can take action on it. And what I just described here, I would, at least in my opinion, is definitely considered a unique, interesting situation. Volume surge, price surge. So is this the start of something much bigger headed into next week? We shall see. Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe the price just drifts right back to where it started. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, maybe it is, and this thing just continues to explode and explode, which again brings up the question of, okay, worth at least keeping an eye on and watching it, pun intended. So as far as areas of resistance are concerned, next key battleground to watch very closely. Let's change this to red. There we go. Going to be right up there at the 25-cent mark. 25 cents is what presented some problems back here several times. So keep a close eye on that. But like I said, the most interesting dynamic is very straightforward. Volume surge, price surge. So is this the start of something even bigger? Let's see what happens. Next one, ticker symbol DMS, and I really like this one because there's such a well-defined pattern. So by no means am I trying to impress you or am I trying to imply that this is a special discovery or a great discovery. The exact opposite. I assure you a lot of people have noticed this pattern. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same things and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And what we have here, like I said, pattern-wise, is we have a very clear top of the pattern breakout point at $2.30. We have a nice little well-defined consolidation period with the bottom of it right around there. So let me change that to green to represent more so the bullish attribute of the pattern. And then to keep it all a single color, maybe make it easier to see, we have our, again, resistance. We have our support. We have the big explosion right there. And then let's put a golf hole down here to make it a little bit more visual for you golfers. And this will be known as a bull pennant pattern. So while there are no guarantees in the market, it's valid, it's plausible to think that if the price can come up to 230, get the break up through that level, that break in of itself could very well create additional buying pressure because people are buying, well, just because it's a breakout and just because, hey, I'm a breakout trader. So definitely keep a close eye on that if you like to play those bull pennant patterns down below the $5 range. Next one, GOVX, and same general idea. So I'm not going to repeat myself, but we have the, once again, self-fulfilling prophecy at work here. Now, granted, the pattern is a little bit different. So let me just get the pattern in play. We have that resistance, and then we have this downwards channel here that's forming. Let me change this to green because this is the support part of the pattern. But yes, there is technically a downwards channel here that's forming. But the key is, in fact, let me just get this drawn up here first. So downwards channel, as has already been noted, occurring right there. But the key is the downward channel is happening after a massive explosion, which is now actually created what is known as a bull flag pattern. So it's the same general idea. No guarantees, but if the price were to come up here to the top of the bull flag, and again, the break up through right there, is it valid? Is it logical to think that that in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is absolutely not a guaranteed outcome, but a more than plausible outcome to occur if that happens. So once again, another technical pattern. Instead of a bull pennant, though, we have a bull flag. So if you like to play bull flags, if you like to play the stocks down in this price range, here you go. Next one, MULN, and probably be the last time I do this one for a while. Well, I guess I take that back because as I observe here at the last part of the day, there is a bit of an upwards move that's occurring. Is this the start of something bigger? We'll see. But the big dynamic that I talked about yesterday was all about that 60-cent mark and how. So yes, today was very, very rough. Not because it was a red day per se, but because that 60-cent mark, as I talked about previously, had been a good solid area of support. So going into today, it made sense to think, okay, could there potentially be some sort of triple bottom, reversal where it goes down there and, bounces? And we got our answer. No, the bears were not having any of it. Went down to 60 cents and then just crashed down below it. So just a nasty move, and now has created the first update. And this is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if this little miniature bounce here does continue, then the first big question mark is, okay, first off, can it get up to 60 cents? And then next, can the price break above it? So keep a close eye on that from a resistance standpoint. As far as new areas of support are concerned, and nothing fancy here, just a question of, well, where did the bleeding finally stop today? And that was down there at 53 cents, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, overall, very, very rough day. But what does make it a bit interesting is there is this little late day bounce, but let's see if the price can even get back up to 60 cents. Next one, AMC, and what a great day on this one. You know, the breakout continues, been tracking this one and just, you know, observing how the price had finally gotten above some key levels of resistance. And then today just continues to grind in a big way. So going into the day, this level right there had presented problems, but I mean, just absolutely got laughed at today by the bulls and tossed in the rearview mirror. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll talk about more so relevant levels. So in the newest areas of support, what I would call the ideal level moving forward, right here at $9.25. Ideal meaning for, say, Clay, what would make this chart look the best? Certainly if the price can stay above $9.25, but if it drops below there, does not mean the entire chart's destroyed, because from more of the overarching standpoint, it's all about that purple line now, which is starting to actually trend back upwards, and that is a moving average. So as the name implies, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So basically, it's just a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So as long as the price stays above the quote-unquote trend line, then that does imply that the overall trend is still bullish. But again, ideally, if the price can stay above $9.25, that would be best case scenario. As far as next potential battlegrounds are concerned, two main levels stand out. First level, at least I think the price is still below it. No, doing battle with it right here at $9.75. You can see in the past this has been a problem area. Both there, and then once right there, and then in fact right there today got rejected. And then if the price can push up through that level, next key level to keep an eye on is going to be that pink line there, which is actually sloping downwards quite a bit. The 200 period moving average, which is right now valued at $10. But all in all, very, very nice way to end the week for AMC. Real quickly, I wanted to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency, then certainly get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So again, like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, then certainly get signed up for the free live training. Next, FFIE, beautiful pattern here. So I'm not going to repeat myself as I've already talked about some patterns, but let me just get it drawn into play there. So we have our resistance, we have our support, but I do want to get that changed to green to just, you know, psychologically remind that's the support part of the pattern. And then maybe you already see where I'm headed with all this, but we have our resistance, support, big momentum move right here. For you golfers, again, let's put our golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So same exact premise still holds. I'm not going to repeat myself about the self-fulfilling prophecies, but all that still applies to this one. So if you like to play bull pennants and you like to play this, you know, range down below $5, I definitely keep an eye on this one for Monday. Next one, NIO, and overall a great day. Don't get me wrong. Let me get rid of these, but a bizarre day in the sense of, I mean, that opening 30 minutes. Check out how wide that range was, how big the candle was. And then as the day went on, look how small and tiny the range got. Now, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm just saying kind of weird how it started off so volatile all over the place and then tightened down into that little range. But in doing so, we have ourselves a good solid little pattern here where, at least in my mind, the key breakout point is going to be right here around $19.30. And then the bottom of the pattern, I would just use that pink line there, 200 period moving average as that support. So we do that. So resistance, and then we have, you know, generally speaking, the support right there. We have the big momentum move up right there. Another, you know, bull flag type pattern, or if you just want to call it a sideways channel within an overall upwards move, you know, whatever is going to best visualize, you know, in your mind is what matters most. But the point here, and at least the overarching dynamic, is big move, and then oddly enough, a very, very small, tight range. But if this thing decides to come back to life again, then 1930 could be that point that really triggers another good solid breakout. Next one, NVTA, and again, not going to repeat myself. You've heard it. I'm just going to keep on moving here and get these patterns in place because a lot of the same kind of general patterns here have taken place. So we have the top part of the pattern, we have the bottom part of the pattern, and just because I'm obsessive, compulsive like that, I just need to change it to green, even though I know your mind is perfectly capable of having that stay the same color, but just for me. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the nice momentum move right there, we have our golf hole down here, and we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern here on NVTA, and very, very close to actually the top part of that breakout trend line. So it seems very reasonable to think that a breakout could occur. Does that lead to more momentum? Let's see what happens on Monday. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and this one just continues to grind higher and higher. In fact, what I'm going to do is, well, get rid of that level, but I want to just get an overall trend line now put into play here as I've been tracking this one and continually do. But that trend line right there has just been almost spot on, not exactly. Again, just humor me in my obsessive compulsiveness. Just got to get that changed to green. But you can see, again, not spot on, but I mean, these ones right there were solid, and then didn't quite hit it, close enough. Didn't quite hit it, close enough. So I would keep an eye on that trend line as the main overall level if you do like to play any sort of pullback and bounce. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, next key overarching battle point going to be right up here around, what is that? The 304 mark. You can 304 was a former area of support and now is acting as resistance as you would expect. But overall, I mean, just, I don't want to say straight up, but pretty close to being straight up in terms of price action since bottom, double bottom down here. So a fantastic move. The momentum is clearly up. So let's see if this momentum can at least take it up to 304. And then can the price break at that point? We'll see what happens. Next one, PIXY, which is not for the faint of heart. This is one where it almost feels like there is no middle ground. You're either going to have an awesome trade or you're going to have a terrible trade on it because it moves fast. It's got big spreads. So definitely, I would say if you're a brand new trader, you're probably not going to want to, you want to stay away from this one because you're either going to think trading is the greatest thing ever, or you're going to think it's completely terrible because, like I said, there doesn't seem to be much of a middle ground here with how fast this one can move. But what I will say is there does seem to be a very, very well-defined breakout point on this one here at $40. So we'll circle back to the whole talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies. So I would definitely keep a close eye on that. And if $40 is broken, then of course, no guarantees. But if it's a high volume break, you got to like the chances that at least goes up to $45 and retests these highs from back here. So definitely keep an eye on that for the breakout levels. But like I said, you got to be very careful because as fast as this thing can move, I mean, look at this last 30-minute candle, shot up and then shot all the way back down. You got to be careful in that regard. As far as supports are concerned, if you prefer to more so play pullbacks, then right there at $30 is an interesting level, and $30 followed by right there around the $27 mark in terms of levels of support. So like I said, if you have a higher risk tolerance, then this is one that, like I said, can reward you in big ways, but you got to be careful because it can also take from you in a hurry if you're not disciplined with it. But yeah, overall, I think that $40 mark is by far a very, very interesting level that most people are probably going to be very curious about. So we'll see if there's any at all self-fulfilling prophecy that comes along with that area. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free training next week. It'll be Thursday, September 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern time, so I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, do two things for me. Hit the like button and then leave a comment. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching next week. Or throw me a request. Is there a chart you would like to see me do? But hitting the like button and then leaving a comment really does go a long way in communicating to me that you enjoy. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I'll continue to put in the required time and effort to get this content out to you. So again, get signed up for the free training, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Everybody, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great weekend.